Hello world, welcome to a new video in this channel, Luis of Ecuador, where we talk about situations, news of Ecuador, trying to provide more context, analyzing a little bit the situation. And if you are interested in Ecuador, then I invite you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet. We are right now in election season. We will have the runoff for the presidential elections on Sunday, April 13th. And we have on one hand the president, Daniel Noboa, who is a candidate running for re-election, or not exactly, because he has just finished the term, or he's finishing the term of the former president Guillermo Lasso, who had to leave earlier than the 4-year term, or earlier to the end of the 4-year term, because of something that I explained in a previous video. He dissolved the Congress, and because of the mechanism in the constitution that allows to do that, he also had to leave. There were early elections, and Noboa won those elections to finish that 4-year term. Now he's running to have his actual 4-year term, his first 4-year term. Here in Ecuador, we can have re-elections for up to 2 4-year terms. So Noboa would actually be running for his first 4-year term. He's running for that. And on the other hand, we have Luisa Gonzalez, who is the leftist candidate of the party Revolución Ciudadana, Citizen Revolution. And that's the party of Rafael Correa, who was president of Ecuador for 10 years in the past. The struggle is hard. There is a lot of use of AI to attack each other. There is a lot of advertising on social media, on YouTube. People who don't use like YouTube Premium, they get tired of watching Luisa Gonzalez and Noboa every day, all the time, for watching everything, whatever. On the streets you have, of course, the posters where I live. And today, Tuesday, April 8th, we are having the visit of both Noboa and Luisa at different times, but they are closing campaign here in the city, so it will be a thing. Well, we're not going to talk about that here. I actually made a podcast with my friend GMAs. He lives in the coastal region of Ecuador. I live in the Andean region. He lives in Puerto Viejo in Manabí province, and you can go watch his channel if you haven't watched his channel yet. It's very interesting, and we made a podcast about the elections to give you more context as well. In this video, I will briefly talk about perhaps the last secret weapon of Daniel Noboa to win the elections. As you know, we are a poor country. We have several problems, and perhaps the number one problem is insecurity. So whoever who wants to win the elections has to address insecurity as the main problem. Daniel Noboa, the president, has advantage here because he is the president. So he has power, he has control over the police, over the armed forces. Last year, 2024, Ecuador voted to give the government the permit to have the armed forces work inside the country to attack gangs that are considered terrorist groups. I mean, the armed forces are usually for securing the borders of the country. So their job was mainly for that, and some other operations of assistance when national tragedies occur, like earthquakes, flooding, things like that. But now the armed forces can be on the streets along with the police, catching gangs or gang members, and we're going to see a little bit of this in a moment in video. But also Noboa has brought a secret weapon to show people we're going against the gangs with all of our strength. See this? And well, his last secret weapon now is Erik Prince, the leader, the founder of Blackwater. If you don't know who Erik Prince is, well, he's a mercenary, founder of Blackwater, who is a, let's say, a private army, private soldiers that for a payment take part into armed conflicts in different areas. They became famous with the Iraq invasion, where there were some scandals. I'm not going to mention that here, but the thing is that Erik Prince, for a payment, he becomes part or assists in armed conflicts in different areas. And in Ecuador, President Noboa declared an internal armed conflict last year to attack the gangs that are considered now terrorist groups, especially narco gangs that get a lot of money through drug trafficking. They have been attacking them a lot, and on the other hand, the gangs have been looking for income in other sources like kidnapping, extortions. But well, the government is trying to do something, and Erik Prince's visit has been shown as we're doing whatever it takes. See, we're getting foreign backups with someone that really knows how to attack the bad guys. So we're going to see how the Ecuadorian media presented this. First, we're going to watch a video from Ecuavisa. Ecuavisa is a national TV channel, and I would say it's like one of the most neutral at the moment. In the past, they have have been very partialized. That's true. But at the moment, if they have to say something against the current government, they say it. But if they have something in favor of the current government, they say it as well. So let's see how Ecuavisa showed the presence of Erik Prince here. So let's see how Ecuavisa reported Erik Prince's visit to Ecuador.
El Ministerio de Defensa catalogó la presencia de Erik Prince como una nueva e histórica etapa en la lucha contra el narcotráfico.
The Minister of Defense named Erik Prince's visit as a new age in the battle against the gangs and drug trafficking.
Terrorismo, crimen organizado.
The terrorism
Él ha estado
and organized
presente
crime.
sábado y domingo en operaciones militares y policiales en sectores conflictivos de Guayas. También ha dado.
So he was part on Saturday and Sunday, part of operations of the police and armed forces in conflictive sectors of Guayas, mainly in Guayaquil. Guayas is the province, Guayaquil is the capital, which is the most populated city in Ecuador, and Duran is also another city, part of Guayas, which was recently named as one of the most dangerous cities in the world due to the homicide rate.
Declaraciones y entrevistas. ¿Pero cuál es exactamente su relación con el gobierno? Este ex militar estadounidense y fundador del Ejército de Seguridad Privada, Blackwater, fue contratado para asesorar y capacitar a unidades táctico-operacionales del bloque de seguridad.
They say that he participated in several interviews, and what exactly is his relationship to the government? Well, he was hired to give consultancy assistance to the National Security Bloc in tactics operations here in Ecuador. That's what they say here.
Es lo único que ha dicho el ministro de Defensa, Giancarlo Lofredo.
That's the only thing that the Minister of Defense, this guy we see here next to Erik Prince, has said. Bloque de Seguridad, as you see in the letters, that's the security block, which is like the whole armed forces and police sector working against the gangs here, the security block. So it says Blackwater will assist and train the tactic operational units.
Sobre su presencia en Ecuador. Televistazo consultó a fuentes del bloque de seguridad sobre la asesoría y capacitación que dará Prince a las unidades tácticas. Hasta el momento, dijeron, los ministerios de Defensa y del Interior no han convocado a cursos o talleres con el experto. Para la mayoría de oficiales fue una sorpresa ver a Prince en equipos de protección junto a las patrullas en los operativos del fin de semana. El Consejo de Generales y Almirantes de las Fuerzas Armadas, integrado por 41 oficiales, no fue informado de esta contratación. Tampoco el Consejo de Oficiales de la Policía, que tiene 10 generales. En los cuarteles existe hermetismo y expectativa sobre la participación de Prince. El gobierno promocionó su visita.
Okay, they say that boards of colonels, high-rank people of the armed forces were not informed about Erik Prince's presence or had not been informed about his visit, that they were surprised about this, that they don't know whether it is for training, for what exactly, so they just found out when he was here already. There is a lot of secrecy, non-disclosure about Erik Prince's visit, even to the high-rank people in the armed forces of Ecuador.
Cita con una amplia difusión de imágenes, fotografías, declaraciones y boletines. No se conoce el alcance del acuerdo, las condiciones, el tiempo que permanecerá en el país, el monto que cobrará.
As I mentioned, right now, if you want to win the elections in Ecuador, you have to show that you are going against insecurity with all that you've got. And that's what the government has been doing. And they mentioned that Erik Prince has been promoted in media by the government, or his visit was shown by the government as a very big thing. He was taken to operations, he was taken to media for interviews. There were many pictures of him or of his posted in like official media as well, because the government right now wants Ecuadorians to see that, hey, we've got these foreign backups, we're going to do what it takes to end with these gangs that are affecting our country at the most, because we're in an internal armed conflict. This is not what they have said exactly, but it's how they have shown it. After this report, we will see how the government has shown Erik Prince's presence here, especially the party of Noboa, or the Daniel Noboa social media. So they say, it says here, Blackwater, the reach of the agreement the length and the conditions are unknown. There's a lot of non-disclosed things, or most of what he's doing it has not been disclosed. I've heard from some other media that is in favor of the president, so they have like direct sources, connections, that Erik Prince's visit has been now just an exploratory trip to analyze the area and then say how much he will charge. The correístas, I mean the leftists, they say they are bringing a mercenary here and they're paying his visit with our taxes and promoting that in media, paying all of that with our taxes, and we cannot leave security, we cannot put our security in hands of a mercenary. But on the other hand, they say that this has not costed anything, that this is just like people supporting Noboa have said that this is just an exploratory trip, that Erik Prince works like this. He gets to an area or he analyzes the situation and then he gives his fee.
El 11 de marzo, el presidente Daniel Noboa anunció ese acuerdo como una alianza estratégica para enfrentar al...
On March 11, he presented this to the people, that they were working an strategic alliance along with Erik Prince to attack illegal fishing and to protect our territory.
Narcoterrorismo y fortalecer las operaciones contra la pesca ilegal.
Okay, now let's see how the government or how Daniel Noboa is promoting this to people. You will see the level of production.
Vámonos. Pero lo importante de este tipo de acciones es reforzar nuestra presencia y la cooperación internacional. Y es así como el día de hoy hemos invitado a este operativo al señor Erik Prince, el fundador de Blackwater, ex Navy SEAL, está al señor...
See, the level of production is different. You see the police, the armed forces present, taking care of people, catching gangsters, all of that.
Vámonos.
And Erik Prince,
Lo importante de
like
este
his
tipo
presence is, wow, this guy is the one that's going to help to end with insecurity in Ecuador.
de acciones, reforzar nuestra presencia y la cooperación internacional.
This guy that you see here that is speaking is Giancarlo Lofredo, the Minister of National Defense. So he's the one that controls the army. And the one next to him is the Minister of Interior, who takes care of internal security. So he controls the police, intelligence, all of that part.
Y es así como el día de hoy hemos invitado a este operativo.
So the minister says, the Minister of Defense, because we're taking care of the situation, we have invited today to these
Al
operations
señor Erik Prince,
Mr. Erik
el
Prince,
fundador de
Blackwater's founder,
ex-Navy
ex-Navy
está
SEAL,
aquí con su equipo.
and he's here
Ya
with
desde
his
hace
team.
algunos días hemos venido
Since
teniendo
a few
ya
days ago, we have
conversaciones y vamos a
had
seguir
conversations
trabajando
and we're going to keep working
el día de hoy y en los días siguientes
today and in the next few days
sobre ya poder poner en acción la forma en que vamos a estar trabajando
to define the way in which we will be working.
con ellos de la mano.
Tenemos el Apolo 13 que el día de hoy hemos realizado. Hemos llegado a más de...
You see, John Reinberg, he's the Minister of Interior, but he's Ecuadorian. I mean, he's not foreigner, he's super Ecuadorian. Maybe his parents are foreigners, but he's Ecuadorian.
Tenemos el Apolo 13 que el día de hoy hemos realizado. Hemos llegado a más de 10 domicilios que fueron allanados con distintos retenidos que tenemos que lo van a presentar y 4 clínicas clandestinas. Son más de 40.
They say that in these operations during the weekend, they've caught 40 people or more than 40 people, even in clínicas clandestinas. This would be like clandestine, illegal, irregular rehab centers. Because in Guayaquil, we have a big problem with drug addictions. And there are several improvised rehab centers for young people, well, for everyone. But they don't have the regulations, they don't have the trained people. And sometimes there are bad people inside these places, or that's what they are. But yeah, that's what you're seeing, and you're seeing this a lot on the government media. Like they are getting to different areas and catching a lot of people.
Prendidos, tenemos el día de hoy más armamento, más.
They have caught weapons, all seized weapons, drugs, radios. I mean, they're fighting against the gangs a lot. Yeah, is the government doing something? Yes, they are. And you can watch a lot in the media, on the news. But is that enough? They doing it in the right way? That's something different. That's a good question. I cannot really tell you because the results, well, some things have improved, but others not. And in cities like Machala, the situation has gotten worse. In cities like Guayaquil, it depends on the area. In the Andes, well, we are like looking calm compared to other areas. But the government is like trying to show through these videos and through visits like this that they are really doing something.
Droga son algunos de los resultados que tenemos. Somos un grupo nacional e internacional que estamos trabajando hoy por la seguridad de los ecuatorianos y nada ni nadie nos va a detener.
So let's see what Erik Prince says, what he's doing here.
La seguridad de los ecuatorianos y nada ni nadie nos va a detener.
Providing the law enforcement and the military the tools and the tactics to effectively combat the narco gang. I hope Ecuador chooses law and order, and we're here to help to combat the gangs and provide the tools for the government to restore law and order, peace and prosperity.
So the idea is to restore law and order. Ecuador joining efforts or uniting efforts. That's the government's point of view on this, or what they want people to see. Now, let's see something that has been criticized by many, because clearly, or that's what the leftist says, the leftists say that this is just part of the campaign. The government is using our taxes. We don't know if that's true, because some say no, this is not paid. This is just an exploratory trip. So they're not paying him anything yet until he gives a fee. And because Erik Prince was shown on TV a lot, like to have people more engaged with Noboa, that people want to support Noboa. Yes, this guy is taking this problem seriously, so we're voting for him. And well, this video here, you saw big edition, and when Erik Prince spoke, they also cover some part, maybe because this was going to be shown in a national media and it cannot be linked to the campaign of the president, but it is part of the campaign. There was another video unedited where they interview Erik Prince and he clearly spoke like whom you have to vote for. Let's watch that.
Providing the law enforcement and the military the tools and the tactics to effectively combat the narco gangs. Okay? Great intelligence, so that small raids, very efficient to put the narcos on their back heels and make them truly afraid of being caught. Two simple paths.
Listen to this part. Two simple paths, that's what he says. And he's talking about the elections on next Sunday.
One, next Sunday, the people of Ecuador can choose law and order and choose Daniel Noboa, or they can choose to make Ecuador to look just like Venezuela, a narco state with massive drug processing, with all the criminality and socialism and despair that comes with that. I hope Ecuador chooses law and order, and we're here to help to combat the gangs and provide the tools for the government to restore law and order, peace and prosperity.
So as you see, this part was unedited and this was posted on social media as well. But I don't know, now it was difficult for me to find this video. Again, I don't know if they deleted it because it may put Noboa's team into problems. I don't know, because he was clearly campaigning. And the thing is that many people are complaining about his presence because he's a mercenary and because he's being paid with our taxes. But of course, I mean, we are in campaigning season, we're in election season, so everyone's going to say whatever they think will harm the other. And people want security. So I am sure that many people with these videos and the level of edition and seeing a guy that knows how to deal with the bad guys, they will want to vote for Noboa. Of course, Luisa Gonzalez, the other candidate, the leftist candidate, already said that if she wins, he will not have to do anything here. He will not be here, as simple as that. But if Noboa wins, he will be assisting the armed forces and the police to make Ecuador safe. Yeah, I know that's what people want. I mean, that Ecuador is safe. So many people, I am sure, will vote now for Noboa. So it's part of a campaign as well. On the other hand, the people that are against Noboa, they say that this guy is a mercenary and he's also a scammer because he's talking about Venezuela, but he scammed the Venezuelan people. Why? Because after the fraud of the elections in Venezuela last July 2024, there was an initiative in which Erik Prince was part, or he's still part. We don't really know about that. That was called Ya Casi Venezuela, which could be translated as Almost There Venezuela, where they were collecting funds to pay Erik Prince and his army, basically, to take Nicolas Maduro, the dictator of Venezuela, out of power. And they collected more than $1 million, and the money, well, is somewhere around, but they didn't speak about this anymore. So, like, they collected the money, they said, this is to take care of Maduro and to restore democracy in Venezuela, but then so far we don't know nothing. Let's watch part of those videos.
Venezuela, you voted on July 28 for freedom. Now it's time to vote with your dollars. Democracy will prevail. We're almost there. Ya casi Venezuela.
Almost there, Venezuela, ya casi Venezuela. He was calling like, you voted, they stole your vote, so now use your money to vote and like support the cause. They were doing this fundraising. They collected more than $1 million and we don't know what happened. So the left here in Ecuador is taking that as an argument against him, like this guy is just a scammer. He just wants money and that's it, and if he can steal the money and take money easily, he will do it. Let's watch another video of Erik Prince when they were already collecting the funds. The fundraising had already started.
The launch of Ya casi Venezuela has gone well. We've been happy with the response so far. People are continuing to vote with their funds, and it is our goal to use those funds to restore democracy and decency to the Venezuelan people.
Donate today. That's how it's worked. So that's how it's worked. We don't know what will happen. Noboa is leading most polls. Luisa is leading other polls, you know. Everyone has their people. And the thing is that Noboa has done many bad things. Again, you can go watch the podcast I had with GMAs where we discussed this more deeply. But insecurity being the number one problem, Noboa having control and being good at propaganda, video edition, marketing has a big advantage here because Luisa, she's not in power, so she cannot do anything. She cannot show any results. And Noboa, he's showing at least that he's taking action. The judicial system here is a problem at the moment because in the courts, like the police catches the criminals, but then they go like to the court, to the prosecutor's office, attorney generals, and there is like these puertas giratorias in Spanish, these doors that you had in some buildings, or you have in some buildings, that you enter and you get out just like this. And Erik Prince also mentioned this, that they have to do something here about the judicial system, which is a problem. And we'll see what happens on Sunday. Will Noboa win? Very likely. But many people don't like him. But let's see who will be the majority. Will Ecuador's insecurity situation improve? I believe so. And we'll talk about the insecurity situation, like more focusing on other things in other video. Let's maybe after the elections, but I can tell you that that's the number one problem, not in all of Ecuador, but it is affecting, like, when people that are interested in traveling to Ecuador, they see the travel advisories, they simply say, I will cancel my trip there because it's super insecure. The thing is that insecurity is focused. It's not in all of the country. We'll talk about that in other video to explain more in territory, maybe with maps. Just let me know in the comments your questions, what you would like to know, what you would like to see, and your opinion, of course, about all of this. Do you think Erik Prince is a very good strategic alliance for Ecuadorian government, for the Ecuadorian people? Or do you think he may just be a bad option that we should really don't think about it as a good option? Do you think of the elections as well, like Noboa should win and continue what he's doing, or that Luisa will be a better option? We'll talk in another video about the situation, also about the Trump effect on the Ecuadorian economy, tariffs, and all of that. So remember to subscribe if you like the video, and remember to leave your comment. See you in another video. Bye bye.